Welcome to the Reverend Guitar Circle Hour Ranch. I'm Ken. I'm here with Penny. Penny's back there. Say something, Penny.
Hi.
She's got to talk loud. She's coming through the lab still. Can't put 3 mics into that mixer. Not sure why.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. Oh, we'll get there. How is everybody doing today? It is sunny and beautiful in Toledo, Ohio once again. We're going on about 4 weeks of the most gorgeous weather I've seen in the 20 years I've been living here. What do you think of that? Everybody's dogging 2020 all the time, but I'll say this, the weather's been real nice for the last month. Been on my bike every day, folks. Today I am holding a Reverend Double Agent OG in Medieval Red, and sitting here on the floor next to me is its partner, a Reverend Double Agent W, also in Medieval Red. Both feature roasted maple necks with roasted maple fingerboards. I was playing around with an Electro Harmonix Freeze pedal, which is kind of fun because when you grab a chord, it does this sort of droney Hammond thing. And if you have some sort of oscillating pedal after it, you can really play around with that and have a good time. I was playing around with that finger roll thing yesterday, and it seemed to really show off the difference between the percussive attack of the 2 different pickups on the guitars, and so that was why I went down that road. And we kind of wanted to show you the differences between the OG and the W today. And then in a future show, we will grab the Warhawk, which currently has the same pickup setup as the Double Agent. We're calling it the Warhawk DA for Warhawk Double Agent. And we will compare the hardtails. We'll grab the OG versus the hardtail DA. But today, we have these beautiful bolt-ons. And the main difference, of course, between the 2 guitars is the trem. So we call, little history of the Double Agent for you. Way back in the day in Warren, Michigan, in 2007, Joe came up with the Double Agent. He came up with he wanted to do the pickup configuration, which we hadn't done previous to that. He thought Double Agent would be a cool name for it, and it was on the Charger body. It was actually the second guitar, the Double Agent, along with the original launch of the Gil Paris model, were the first 2 guitars that had that and the Buckshot, which came out around the same time, were the first guitars that had the control plate on the body as opposed to the giant pickguard. And the Chargers and the Flat Rocks still had the big pickguard, and then the Double Agents had the control plate, right? It was immediately catapulted into the top 5 and eventually became our best-selling model. Around 2008-09, there was a financial crisis, and it really affected the independent music stores really pretty drastically. And we pared down the size of the company, and we pared down our offerings pretty radically in order to accompany that. And one of the things that we lost at the time was basically the Jetstream body was selling very well. And so Joe and I made the decision to just sort of move everything to the Jetstream platform, which I will grab. And when we did that, the Double Agent came over onto this body in 2009 as a hardtail. And it existed as a hardtail up until probably, I think, 2011 or 2012 on the Jetstream body. Can you see everything all right? I'm still not used to this camera thing. So when it was on this body as a hardtail, it still had the control plate. We just moved the electronics over, and it was also a bestseller in that configuration. And then we started to bring back trems in earnest in 2012. And at one point, Joe and I were looking at a bunch of guitars on the rack in the shop. And what we had noticed was when we moved stuff over from this platform to this platform a couple years previously, that the control plates came over, that everything came over. And so we were looking at a hodgepodge of different control setups on different body styles. And so we decided to just narrow it down. And it started with the double agent models. We wanted to bring back, wanted to have a hardtail version because the pickup thing was so popular. So we decided to bring back this body style with this pickup configuration and call it the double agent OG for original guitar. And then we put the control plate on it and such as you see it today. And then we brought back the double agent on the Jetstream body. We just made the pickguard larger to encompass all of the controls. And from that point forward, all of the Jetstream body guitars had this pickguard shape, and all of the Charger body guitars had the control plate and that pickguard shape. There's a few guys out there, Steve Amaral, who watches me every week. Hi, Steve. How are you, bud? Who likes the larger pickguard control plate on the Charger bodies, and much respect to, I'm glad you dig it. I'm glad you dig something that we used to do. But once we sort of dialed it in, and went forward. So that is how you end up with the Double Agent W, which stands for Wilkinson Trem, and the Double Agent OG, which stands for Original Guitar. Penny wants me to put them right up next to each other. Yes. If you guys will notice that the body shape of the heel is very similar. Both guitars have arm contours and belly cutaways for your dudes like me that need belly cutaways. Both guitars feature our cool 6-bolt neck plate. Both of these have roasted maple necks, and the medieval red with the Mother Moto plastic white pearloid pick guards. Even though this is a hardtail, we still put locking tuners on it for ease of setup and ease of play, ease of string changing, tuning stability. Both of these guitars were set up this morning. Both of these beautiful guitars are going to Watchtower Guitars over in New Jersey this afternoon, as a matter of fact. Once I'm being very, very careful with them. And when I'm done, we're going to clean them up and get them off to Watchtower. Both get Kengu. Yeah, these were both, these are both fresh, set up this morning. I love of course, the input jack that we changed a couple years ago is super cool with the little logo thing on it. Is that too? Yeah, I don't even know how to get there. Do something like that.
Yeah,
maybe. Well, you can check it out on the website for sure. So, other than the obvious difference that one has a trem and one doesn't, the addition of a Wilkinson trem or any trem system really to a guitar, you remove a lot of wood, and you remove a lot of wood from around the bridge posts. So whereas our OG is a very, very solid slab of wood with the bridge and the tailpiece mounted on the top, in order to put the Wilkinson in, we've removed a lot of wood from the back side of the guitar and from right underneath of the bridge and right where the posts connect with the body. And that makes the guitar a little bit more resonant. And I would think that to my ear, you get a little bit more of a punchy mid-range with the hardtail than you do with the trem. So to my ear, the trem guitars are a little bit mid-scooped, but now you got to understand this is really subtle stuff, and this is the kind of stuff that Naylor's ear really picks up, and his ear is a lot better than mine. And I'm running a low wattage tube amp that is pushed a little bit, and by the time you start adding compression, like tube amp compression, just the natural compression that you get out of these, and other factors like any pedals, of course, that you put in front of it, all that stuff sort of alters the tone too and makes these things a little bit trickier to hear. But I will play that lick that I did at the top of the thing on this guitar, and if you're inclined to go back and forth and hear them both, you can back up on the YouTubes and hear what I did at the beginning, and then you can come right back to this and you can hear it with this guitar. And I guess I should probably drop that A chord again. One more thing real quick, Penn, then we'll get you some questions.
Okay.
I really noticed a difference with both pickups on. So here is, let's get this real stark here. Here's both pickups on the W. I'll even play with the pick. And OG. Interesting. Yeah.
The P90, which we covered in a previous show, and the humbucker, which we covered in a previous show.
Yes, ma'am.
How does the tone work together? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the in-between tone, how does that happen?
The P90, Penny has a question for you guys. She wants to know how the P90 affects the tone, especially with the two pickup combination, because we've obviously talked about one or the other. So the P90, just by nature of it being a big single coil, it throws a lot of mid-range. It's always been known as a very mid-heavy style of pickup, the soap bar, as it were. So when it's tighter and more focused in the neck position than a humbucker is. I associate a humbucker in the neck position with a sort of either the woman tone thing with a lot of guitars. Can I still say that? With the distorted guitar, that sort of clapped in, that singy thing that the humbucker does in the neck position. The P90 is a little bit more, harsh, which can sound great in rock music when played with a lot of distortion, and clean, it just has a lot more mids. So when we add the P90 into the tone with the humbucker, I think you get a really cool sort of chimey thing that works well for playing chords like that. It's very, very articulate, and to my ear, it's a little more articulate than the two humbucker guitar with both pickups on. There's no bad either. That's, there's no right nor wrong. I get a lot of questions like, what would sound better? Does this sound better than this? Does that sound better than that? I don't think that anything sounds better than anything else. I just think it sounds a little bit different, and the little bit of a honk that this adds on the double agent with both pickups on is just different than a two humbucker guitar, and I think it's kind of cool. When we do put both pickups together, so keep in mind, let's turn on all the gain here so that you guys can hear the buzz. That's the super badass metal. That is the humbucker only, and there's the buzz, the hum that comes from the P90 from the single coil. And when you run both of them together, you'll notice that the hum is literally cut in half, and that's because one of the coils of the humbucker is reverse wound with the P90, and that one is hum canceling, and the other one is not. So you do get a little bit of buzz when running with high gain, but keep in mind this is a that's a lot of gain. Anyway, I hope I answered your question, LG.
Well, yeah, it's sort of the thesis of the show.
Thesis.
Yes. Ready for questions?
Big words for Friday morning. Big words. Yeah, I'm ready for questions. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're all doing great. I feel great. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. I like these guitars. What do you guys think of this medieval red? I like this medieval red.
Well, funny you should say.
Yeah.
Jim says, can you just make that color available on all the non-signature models, please?
We got to be getting there. I don't know that anybody has actually grabbed onto this on a signature model yet. I don't believe there is a signature model in
No,
medieval
what
red.
else is it on? It's on a bunch of other.
It's on a bunch of other things. It is on the buckshot and the trick shot. It is on the 6-gun. It is on the Jetstream with Retroblast pickups. It is on the Warhawk with 3 P90s. It is on the Contender with P90. It is on the Thundergun base where it absolutely looks incredible. And I know I'm missing something. Oh, it's on the Descent with the Wilkinson trim as well. So yes, this color is permeated. It's worked its way into the line, and it seems to be gaining in popularity as the year goes on. Am I incorrect in thinking that, LG?
I think you're correct.
Yeah, it's for a minute it seemed like everybody was, I don't know, getting used to it or something, and now it's starting to go, which is great.
Somebody from YouTube.
YouTube.
Onion Ring
I like that.
says they can't get an OG left-handed in England for love nor money.
For love nor money.
Plans?
I saw invoice this morning with 2 left-handed OGs going to Scotland. But here's the problem, folks, and lefty guys, I apologize. We made drastically too few left-handed models as we rolled out the 2020 line. Yes, we did the double agent OG, and when I mean too few, we just didn't make enough of them. We didn't order enough of them. We didn't have enough of them built, and for that, I apologize, and I will be making up for that as we roll into the end of the year. Yes, we will get more. We will make more. We will broaden our lefty offerings, and we will make sure we get enough of them built, so that, because you guys, what's happening is I'm getting left-handed models in, and they're all just getting bought up right away. And I think people might be waiting for them, so they never end up really going into inventory. Again, shortcoming on my part, and just to be honest with you guys, I'm not making excuses, but this COVID thing was weird, and we didn't know what we were looking at as we were going into the rest of the year. For about a month there, I had to make some decisions on what we were going to be bringing in over the summertime and what was going to, be put into production. And Penny and I and Joe were just, there was no way to predict how busy or how not busy it was going to be. It looked kind of scary for a minute or whatever. And so one of the things that suffered was our left-handed offerings for this year. And for that, I apologize, but we will make it up to you. What else you got, LG?
Let's see. More on the double agent.
More on the double agent? I don't think it's a moron. I think it's a very, very nice guitar.
More questions on the double
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Oh, that's not the one. Sorry. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? While Penny's getting the questions together,
I found it.
I would like to point out the beautiful heather green Reverend t-shirt from American Apparel, which is one of these like soft, clingy t-shirts that kids seem to like these days. These pickups, these t-shirts in green and navy blue are now available at the Reverend merch store at reverendguitars.com. There. And my daughter's here packing t-shirts for the summertime, so give her something to do, folks.
Durrell would like to know
Hey, Durrell.
if it's possible to do a triple agent with 2 P90s and a humbucker.
Anything is possible, but we have not approached that as of yet. Yeah, that's not, it just isn't anything that Joe's been ready to jump into, I guess. That's really the only answer that I got for you. I think it was even discussed once, and then it just, I don't know, didn't really happen. So I don't know what to tell you. Huh?
Too many ideas.
Yeah, too many ideas, too little time, I guess. Indeed.
Okay. Michael
Hi, Michael.
would like to know what color that Crystal Master is there, because he thinks it's the Axis purple, but on his screen it looks blue.
Yeah, it does that. It is the Axis purple, and it does change color in lights. In these LED lights, it has more of a royal blue look, and in the sunlight, it pops super purple. In fluorescence, of course, it's pops super purple because they're basically purple. But yes, that color is pretty rad, and it does change drastically due to environment. But that is, in fact, the Axis Purple, as named by this lovely young lady behind the computer.
Neat.
Yes, indeed.
Mark would like to know if there's any new colors for the Kyle Shutt for 2021.
Man, you're really getting ahead of us here. Yeah, Kyle and I are talking about a new color, but we haven't mocked it up in the computer yet. And when we do, but yes, there will be a new color in the Kyle Shutt for 2021. Indeed, it's going to be some variation of gold.
Frank
Hey, Frank.
has a question.
Is that Frank
about-
Giffen?
No. Frank Van Heck.
Oh, Frank Van Heck. What's up, Frank?
He wants to know how come hum cutters don't hum, considering they're P90s.
Hum cutters are actually humbuckers, hence the funny name. Underneath of the Railhammer hum cutter, I do not have one available. No, I do not. The Railhammer hum cutter is this. I don't know if you can see this, Reeves. This guitar kills, by the way. This is a roundhouse HB in violin brown with the Reeves Gabrel's Railhammers in brushed nickel installed, and it just sounds awesome. What a hum cutter is that Frank is referring to is we take the Railhammer humbucker pickup like the Reeves, and there is a coil underneath of this set of blade and pole pieces and a coil underneath of this set of blade and pole pieces. And we literally remove 3 of the poles from one coil and one of the blade from the other coil, while leaving the 2 coils underneath intact. So those 2 coils hum cancel from one another, but by removing those pole pieces, we take a smaller slice of the magnetic field that is created by the string, and through windings and wire gauge and other subtle trickery, we can make that humbucker sound or mimic the tone of a P90, but noiselessly. That's why it's big like that, because it is actually a humbucker under the cover. Great question. Thank you, sir. My Huevos 90 bridge pickup, the hot version of that, my favorite pickup in the Railhammer line. It just crushes.
Relatedly, Ryan
Hi, Ryan.
always wondered what the RA stands for on some of the models.
Oh, yeah, and it stands for Railhammer. And the reason, sorry about that, the reason, I was getting a little dry there. Plus, if I don't have X amount of coffee, steady stream of coffee until noon, I'll just go right over.
Next year, you're going to have an IV drip.
FM stands for Flame Maple. RA next to the model stands for Railhammer. Started with the Sensei RA because we were doing a Sensei HB. We were doing, for a while, we did all the Senseis. We had a Sensei 290, which we've moved over into the contender area now. Sensei 290, 2P90, Sensei HB, humbucker. We wanted to do special Senseis with Railhammer pickups in it, but when you can't, well, we could do whatever you want. We decided not to go with RH for Railhammer because across the industry, RH and LH, right-handed, left-handed. And so we just took the first 2 letters and went with RA. That's where that comes from.
Danny would like to know if there are any plans in the works for a PA1RB model.
Wow, Danny, how,
Question?
yeah, how very interesting. They'll be here next week. They will. That is one of our summer launches, is a Retro Blast pickup version of the PA1. The PA1RB will be available in satin emerald green and satin mulberry mist. They are going to be somewhat limited. I think we're only looking at 8 to 12 of each. So if you are interested in that PA1RB, grab one up.
I can't wait to see that mulberry mist. It's going to be.
Well, satin mulberry mist is killer. And we went with that because we've done mulberry mist Eastsiders, satin mulberry mist Eastsiders off and on over the last couple years. And so it just seemed like a natural fit. It's going to be cool. I agree. It's going to be a beauty.
Ross mentioned that you hinted about Wildwood Descent runs coming.
Yeah, those are shipping to Wildwood. We're also going to be announcing that. Actually, Penny, we need to get together on that.
Okay.
Jeff has the pictures. We should probably get her up on the site. There is a Descent W in black sparkle. It is gorgeous. I have some pictures of it over on my Instagram page, haas.ken. I took some pictures of Doug working on it on his bench. I think those are the only pictures that have snuck out so far. I think half of Wildwood's run is shipped to them already, so they should be receiving them and getting them in on the site within the next couple weeks. Boy, they're moving a lot of Reverends, folks, and so it just takes them a minute to get them processed, but they are on the way. Black Sparkle Descent W with dark violin brown back, roasted maple neck, gorgeous guitar. Really killer. I love it. Wait till you see it. Wait till you see it, you guys. It's amazing. My guess is all of those Black Sparkle guitars that we did for Wildwood, we're going to end up doing more of.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah.
Well, you love a sparkle.
I love a Sparkle. I love these HSS 6 guns that those guys are doing this year, too. Those things are sweet.
Okay, you ready for a big question?
I love big questions. I'll take all questions, big, small, you name it.
John would like to know how happy we are with our outsourced factory, and how do we approach quality control differently than other manufacturers?
Wow, John. Deep. Penny wasn't kidding, that is. Reverend Guitars has been using Mirror Music Limited in South Korea for many, many years. Back when we were doing the phenolic bodied guitars, they did some pickups and some necks for us for a while. That's how the relationship started. And then when Joe had the idea for some of the original solid bodied guitars, this platform, the Jetstream and the Charger, and the original Warhawk, Joe went to Mir and had them make some prototypes. And we didn't really know what to expect, but we knew we liked the necks, and we knew that they could make the pickups to his specifications. And Joe is very, very picky, and when Joe gives his specifications, he's serious. And so we already knew we were happy with some of their work. So when we got the original prototypes of these models in, we were floored. And of course, when you're holding something in your hand versus looking at a drawing, subtle changes were made. I know Steve Amaral has one of the very original Chargers, which is really kind of cool. There's a handful of cool things out there, but right out of the gate, I mean, we were just happy with the work they provide. They are really, really nice people. They are sort of, this sounds like kind of a goofy thing to say, and Penny, help me out if I'm phrasing this right, but I sort of view them as the us of the building world. Like there are a lot of larger companies out there that do what they do, but they're sort of a small family-run business, and they only build for a handful of brands, and they have sort of a limited capacity. You know what I mean? And they're just, I don't know. It's different. Dealing with them it's very personal, and they're just great people. That's really all there is to it. And they, of course, now that we have a 17 or 18-year relationship with them, they kind of have an idea of what Joe is looking for, even. And if something can't be done, their suggestion for how to get it done works, and the relationship between Joe and them getting prototypes done and getting things happening is very, very smooth and very cool.
Well, for example, we were doing mahogany for not a long time, but for a little while, and they were the ones that suggested the Carina, right?
Yeah, they were the ones that suggested that the Carina was available to us. Yes, right. For sure, of course. And then and then when Joe wants to do stuff like roasted maple necks, they make it happen. Oh yeah, we can, blah blah blah. So we're very, very happy with them. We're happy with the build quality of the guitars. The guitars play fantastic, and we set them all up here. So when guitars come into us, we bring in guitars monthly, and the guys that work here in the office, our guy Tim and our guy Seth, inspect all the guitars as soon as they hit, and then we assign them dealers, if they're already sold, And then, of course, Doug and Brian and Chris and ZSG in the back set them all up and make sure that they're perfect and ready to go. So this is no bullshit. In 15 years of having them make guitars, I believe that we have had 2 mechanical failures out of, when did we start with them? Around serial number 6,000?
Sure.
So out of 35,000 guitars, we have had 2 mechanical failures. One broken truss rod, which is amazing, and one neck on a set neck that got out of whack to the point that we had to bandsaw it. And that was recently.
Yeah.
And
you're saying unplayable, unfixable.
That's what I'm saying. Mechanical failure, unplayable. And now there's been a handful more broken. I guess there's been a handful of broken truss rods, but they've been on bolt-ons, and so you just get a new neck and you fix the guitar.
Right.
But we had a broken truss rod and a sensei, and so it was remove the fingerboard and ruin the finish and stuff like that, and that was a hell of a job. And then yeah, funky neck on a 12-string. So to me, that's crazy. I mean, that's an incredible streak of luck. Finish flaws are a thing. Sometimes we get a little dirt in the finish, and so there's a thing that we do here with the Carina wood. We use a really, really cool sounding wood that really enhances the mid-range and makes a very, very sweet sounding guitar. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to drown it in sealer and drown it in clear coat and then have a plastic guitar because it has this much finish on it. The bummer about that is, of course, when you put 17 coats of clear on something, you can buff it perfectly flat and have a very flawless finish on guitars that cost less than ours do, but then they don't sound as good because you've buried the wood in all of this finish. And so we put a very, very thin coat of sealer on the guitars before the color is put on, and then a very, very thin coat of clear. And as a result, sometimes if you hold the guitar up to even a finish like the Medieval Red, which is not a transparent finish, sometimes if you hold them up to the light, you can see a little bit of the ridges of the Carina and things in the wood. Or if there is an anomaly, remember, wood is wood, it's a natural product, so if there's a little knot or something in the back, sometimes even on a finish like this, a solid colored finish, you can see little anomalies underneath. Or sometimes there might be, you know, a little trace of paint in the binding somewhere, or other strange little finish anomalies. But for what we're getting, for the quality of guitar that we're getting, for the price range that we're operating in, very, very minor finish things, we let go. Now, it's always a work in progress, and the guitars are always, you know, we're always improving when it comes to like tiny little finish issues like that or whatever. But I always say that the difference between a guitar that costs $10.99 and might have a tiny finish flaw somewhere on an edge and a $2,500 guitar is that tiny finish flaw, because build quality is here and the sound and the tone are here. So there's my finish speech. All of that being said, back to your original question, we're super happy with the people that make these guitars for us. They realize Joe's vision, and that was the idea, was to tap into somebody's experience in making solid body instruments and use that experience to go forward and craft some amazing guitars, as opposed to us starting a factory from scratch. We went with some people that had generations of experience in building guitars to realize Joe's vision. So it wasn't necessarily about being cheap, it was about being able to operate in our price range while making the best product possible for our price range. That was not 300 words, LG.
It was not.
Jim Neal's texting my phone right now.
Essay question. This is not an essay question.
Cool. Yes.
Casey says he loves the shirt. It's an MSU Spartan green shirt, like his Spartan Sparkle Contender RV.
I knew I should have worn the blue one. I sat back there and looked at the blue ones and the green ones. Some Sparty dissing on my shirt.
Sparty on, Casey.
So Penny says Sparty on. I'll say Sparty on too, reluctantly. Anything's better than Ohio State, right?
That's true. Alexi.
Yes,
I think
Alexi.
that's how you say that first
Okay,
name.
okay.
Do you consider to make guitars with Jazzmaster or Jaguar type pickups or types of trams, not pickups?
We get that question a lot lately. Those things are very they're trendy. They're trending. The Jazz Masters are trending. I will never say never, okay? But that style of trem is very associated with that brand, and that style of trem has a lot of physical limitations. And so the short answer to that is no. We don't have any plans on doing it. The Wilkinson stuff stays in tune very, very well. And if you're looking for a more subtle version of a trem than the Wilkinson, Bigsby's look great, and we have the Bigsby stuff dialed in here very, very well as far as tuning stability is concerned. To get into a Jazzmaster style trem and have excellent tuning stability, in my opinion, you're getting into some aftermarket guys that are building some absolutely amazing products right now. If we were to go down that road, we would get into something like that, and they're very expensive. And so that would we would add, you know, a few $100 to the cost of something. I don't really know at this time if that's worth it. So we don't have any plans. However, that has been noted. We've been asked a number of times, and I will never say never, but at the moment, on the immediate horizon within the next couple of years, I'm afraid we don't have any plans to do anything with that style of trem.
Marco.
Polo.
Yeah, I'm sure he gets that a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can't, even as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, oh, that poor guy. He hates it when people say that. Sorry, Marco, I apologize. My bad. If we ever meet in person, feel free to ask me how Barbie's doing. Go ahead.
He has a Rumblefish,
Awesome.
a Matt West in pink,
Oh, dude.
and a Tricky Gomez.
Nicely done. Nice collection.
Yes. He wants to know which is the discontinued Reverend model that you like the most and would like to reissue.
Oh, dude. Man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Wow.
People with the tough questions today.
Yeah. Oh, that Tricky Gomez is sweet. Rumblefishes are sweet. My engine-turned aluminum Commando GT is sweet, but we just don't have access to the material or the body stuff to make those. Man, that's a really, really tough call. Maybe the Rick Vito Classic in Oceanside Green with all the Art Deco stuff. That was one of my favorites for sure. What a killer guitar that was. Boy, I don't know. You know what? We're probably going to end, believe it or not, I think we're going to end up making more of those pink Matt Wests because it's interesting. They took a while for Wildwood and Merchant City to sell them, and then it got hot, and I get a couple requests a week for that. So we'll probably make another short run of those foam shrimp pink Matt West guitars. They're cool. We're going to be doing some Matt West and Ivy here this summer, and we are waiting. And then Neck Deep will be touring. Their tour initially got pushed back to the fall. I don't know if it's still going on or what, but we'll keep you posted.
All right, I'm having some human error technical difficulties.
Oh, Penny's messing up the program, folks. Well, that's all right. Check out this guitar. Maybe. Here's a fun loop I made last night. That's an Earthquaker Afterneath, by the way, for those of you wondering at home, still reverberating over there. And it'll do more than that. That thing will go for a month. Check out this tone, folks. Oh, yeah, like this bad boy here? Probably. If not directly from here, you know, I know Joe at Joe's Music will get them in there for you. I think Merchant City will get them in there for you. If you want to get it done, we'll figure it out. We'll come up with a way to make it happen. This Violent Brown Roundhouse with these brushed nickel pickups is just I am totally in love with this. Can I plug this in, LG?
Do it.
Can I just hold it? Heck, Frank, we'll sell you this one. We'll make more.
You aren't.
What?
What is with you with the names today?
What? Frank, right?
Van Heck.
Yeah. So I can turn that off. Here's what this thing sounds like. Here's the bridge pickup. Both. Neck. Lead. On the neck. Both. Gets a little squishy with both on and the gain. Bridge. That was fun. You gave me an excuse. Anything else, LG?
Oh, lots.
Lots. Okay, well then we're gonna have to go speed round
Yeah.
because we've been on this show for 45 minutes now,
I know.
which is fine.
Ryan would like to know what models are available in Coffee Burst.
Coffee Burst was pared down a little bit over the last couple of years, and at the moment, I believe we are only offering the Jetstream 390 in Coffee Burst. I think we're going to see some Charger 290s in Coffee Burst as well. The initial response to bringing those guitars out in Coffee Burst was crushing, and so we'll probably do some more Coffee Burst models next year. I will make that suggestion to Mr. Joe.
There have been a few questions about this,
Yes.
but people want to know about the double agent OG with a trim.
Yeah. So when we split the models up like that, the idea being the Jetstream body had trims, and the OG body does not have a trim. And the main difference, of course, between the two things is really just the look of the upper cutaway, and of course the control layout and whatnot. At the moment, we're sort of towing a hard line. I mean, this is the trem guitar and this is the hardtail guitar. And because there's always an exception, Reeves has the Charger body with the trem on it, but he's Reeves, and we do whatever Reeves wants. And it's badass looking on that guitar. And so at the moment, the only option for the Wilkinson trem on the Charger platform is the Reeves Gabrels model. And but of course, you can affix a Bigsby with a Vibramate or a Les Trem 2 on any of the Charger bodies with the stop tail, no problem. So
And it's easy, right?
very simple. Either
I know
one
the
of
Vibramate is super simple.
yeah, the Les Trem 2 is super simple too. It just drops on where the tailpiece was. It's simple and really kind of cool. People are digging that thing, as they should.
Barney would like to know what new colors are coming up for the Airwave.
We are launching new colors for the Airwave this summer. They are also on their way here. We'll be here shortly for our virtual Summer NAMM, which will be coming up next month, middle of next month. There'll be a virtual Summer NAMM, folks. We'll keep you posted with details on that. And the airwaves are going to be available in, we are going to continue making black and metallic alpine, and then we are going to add deep sea blue and mulberry mist. I can't wait to see those deep sea blue ones.
Yeah, those are great.
Oh yeah, and the airwave is getting a little facelift with binding on the headstock too, which looks super cool. So if you're interested in some natural ones, scoop them up from the dealers. Scoop them up.
Onion ring is back,
Oh, ring.
and would like to know if there's any chance of a Mark Knopfler signature model.
Oh no, no. I wish, but no. Mark is an acquaintance. He's not a friend, like like our Reeves and Pete and the other guys that we work with very closely. Mark, I've met a few times through his keyboard player, Guy Fletcher, and through our mutual friend Rudy Pensa, who sells Reverends in Soho and Scarsdale, yeah. Rudy Pensa, of course, makes the beautiful Pensa custom guitars at the Soho store in New York City, and Mark has a handful of signature Pensa guitars that Rudy makes for him. Been doing some P90 stuff lately that's pretty cool. And then, of course, Mark has done, I mean, let's face it, he's associated with 3 guitars if you're a fan. He's associated with the Pensa custom guitars and the original Pensa Sirs and the Pensa guitars he uses now. He has spent a lot of time recording and touring with real bursts, a couple of 58s and a 59, one of which I think he may have gotten from Billy Gibbons back in the day, or at least he got, when he was looking for the money for Nothing Tone, he asked Billy G how he was getting that ripping ZZ Top 70s grit, and Billy steered him towards bursts, and so Mark ended up getting a couple of real bursts, and when you see him touring live, he is using actual vintage G brand LP Les Paul guitars. I'll say Les Paul. Penny and I went and saw Les Paul years ago. It was an absolute blast. While I won't mention the G brand, I will say Les Paul because he was a hell of a man, a great player. And then, of course, Mark's iconic guitar is his Fiesta Red 63, I think his 62 or 63 Strat, which is basically the thing that people picture from Sultans of Swing and the Alchemy, of course, era. And so he's got a plethora of signature models. And while he does have a buckshot setup with 11s in open tuning that he does slide work on in the studio, according to Guy Fletcher, his keyboard player. And I gave him a Descent a few years ago because he is always recording stuff with Descents. There's never been he's never reached out to me looking for any further modifications on those things, or we've never had a conversation that's started to ever move anything down those paths. While I admit too, if you guys like seeing me do this show every week, you don't want Mark Knopfler calling here because I will just fall over dead.
I don't know who Onion Ring is. Onion Ring could be.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Sure, of course. What else you got, LG? Sorry, I didn't keep that short either. I went long for him because you asked about my hero.
That's why I wanted to get it in there.
Yeah.
Somebody called 3-Card Monty wants to know if we have any short scale 24 3/4 scale guitars.
24 3/4 scale to me is a standard. It's the standard scale for the G brand on the set neck guitars, and all of our set neck guitars feature the 24 3/4 scale. So the one I'm holding in my hand is actually a 24 3/4 scale guitar. The roundhouse model, as well as the contenders and the senseis, and
But
set necks, airwave, manta rays, all 24 3/4 scale. There is one 24 3/4 scale bolt-on in the neck right now, and that is the Studebaker model and the Unknown Hinson model. And folks, if you're interested in a Studebaker or an Unknown Hinson model, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Danny has retired from touring. He's got osteoporosis. Is that what it is?
I'm not
Something
sure.
is
Some sort of arthritis.
something is his hands are really bugging him, and he's not going to be touring anymore, which sucks. But we're phasing out the unknown Hinson model after 15 years. I have some in the warehouse if anybody's interested in grabbing one, just so you know.
Chris would like to know how significantly our supply chain was impacted by COVID, and do you have any thoughts about changing your manufacturing strategy?
Nope, we're good. And the supply chain wasn't affected at all. South Korea did not go down like China did or America did due to this thing. They did have an outbreak there, but mostly in the lower part of the peninsula, and Mirror Music is in the upper part of the peninsula, and they never never experienced a shutdown there.
Well,
And so, matter of fact, if anything, during the crisis, stuff got here quicker. As shipping slowed down, the paths were cleared, and we were getting stuff a little bit faster than we normally did. So what I did was, it wasn't due to anything that was going on at the factory. I was just out of sort of economic fears. I just brought the numbers down a little bit from what we were doing, and now, of course, I wish I hadn't done that, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So yes, we don't have any plans on changing anything. We're very, it's a global economy out there, and our plan was to, that I think we've succeeded at, was to use the people that could realize Joe's vision the best and keep things in our price range, and we have done that. So that's where we are at.
Thomas wants to know if there's any chance to see the Air Sonic with P90s.
No, I don't think so. And again, I'm never going to say never on this, and that might not be a bad idea. But the idea behind the Air Sonic, and you can see we've got one hanging down over the end there, the guitar with the very thin wings and the through the body F holes, is the resonance, and it is a very modern guitar, and so we equipped it with the very modern Railhammer pickups as just sort of a package thing. We get so close to the tone of the P90s with the Nuevo 90 Railhammers that it's not really on our radar to offer it with P90s. Would be cool though. Would sure look cool. Let's face it, soap bars look cool. Indeed.
Last question.
I don't know if you know this or not, but we do have a new soap bar guitar coming out by the end of the year for some guy from Wisconsin. It's going to be available in Tosa Turquoise. That's all I'm saying.
Nathan would like to know what we're using to live stream.
I have no idea.
StreamYard is the name of the company.
StreamYard, little gal says. Nathan? Yes.
Yep. So
And then,
StreamYard.
and then there's some cameras and some stuff. I don't know. I am the talent. Those are questions for little gal. Yes, indeed. Anything else?
I think
We're gonna call it. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, listen, you guys it's so awesome that you come here for this. We appreciate it. We will be back. I will be back live in this room in 2 weeks. Next week's show is up in the air, as Little Gal and I are going to be taking a long weekend. And I don't know if we're going to assign the task of doing this show to people in-house, or if we are going to run the show from a mobile location. But either way, we'll announce it before next week. And I will be back in this chair in 2 weeks. I'm going to play out with the silly loop and the cool roundhouse and that earthquaker, which is just so much fun.